if you've ever destroyed a Domino's pizza by yourself, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Good morning and welcome back. Happy Thursday. It is time for another episode of Live Trading. Ryan here. I'm very happy to take it over from Archimedes, Zed, and Dan. So I'm glad we had fun on the first show here. We're going to have some more fun here. We got money to make. Let's roll.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right. Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Live Trading. It is Thursday. Good, happy Thursday. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here. We are, of course, going to start with the main man, 13. 13, how are you doing here this morning?
Oh, I thought my name today was 27.
Well, we can, you know what? We can do whatever we want. We can do whatever we want here. That was one of the funnier things that I've ever seen. And shout out to the guys for just kind of rolling with it and being cool about it. That was sweet.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I'm just going to refer to my usual moniker here. That's fine.
Yeah, my favorite name for Aaron Bree is Archimedes Bree because Aaron is about as far away from Archimedes as humanly possible. So the fact that that is one of the names that we were kind of tossing around there makes me laugh. Anyway, let's go ahead and get down to brass tacks here. We're going to start with the SPY here today. We will talk about Domino's Pizza per the opener there, but we're going to start here with the SPY. We had a night. The Bears won the day yesterday, right? We had a nice day. We just traded down here. Looks like we actually kind of stopped at that 556-ish area on the sell-off. I know 555 is a level that we really want to test. Today, we're actually a little bit higher at 559 here. We did have a jobs number that came in higher than expected. So all of that's happening. Oh, Carmen, you know what? Carmen's asking, are we ad-free here too? Yes. Great news. For those of you that did not catch this on pre-market prep, thank you, Carmen, for reminding me. We heard your feedback. We have been turning your feedback over to the top brass here, and the decision has been made to run no ads during the live stream. So you will still get like an ad before the stream starts or maybe in between shows, but no ads during the live stream. This should mean that you don't have to have interviews interrupted. You won't have ads coming in at some crazy inconvenient time where we're taking a trade or explaining a trade or something of that nature. So yes, we really appreciate the feedback. Zunaid was hard at work making sure that everybody saw your feedback. And now we have some good news from that.
Yeah, look, Robert 12, I appreciate all your feedback from the chat and letting us know what you wanted.
Thank you, Zed. Where's Archimedes? Did he leave yet, or is he still around?
Oh man, that was fun.
Look, I started the show by giving you guys a shout out. I love that you had some fun with that. For sure. Life's not worth living if you're not having fun, and you guys knocked it out of the park this morning.
I agree. I appreciate it. But no, I just wanted to come on and have my 12 joke and my Robert joke, and then that was kind of about it. But cool. You guys have a good show. I'll see y'all later.
Okay, good stuff. And oh, by the way, you had a trade yesterday that you were showing on Futures Fever, I think. The leaps on Hood.
Yeah.
Great job on that one.
40%. Appreciate it.
Great job on that.
Let's hope that they report good numbers, because then that 40% will end up being 70, 60%. I think Elon might still be in the trade with me. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, appreciate it, man. I'm still holding on. On.
Hey, I'm going to pass my earnings luck to you. I played calls on AEHR the night before, and we closed that for over 100% gain overnight. So we're going to take that luck. We're going to rub it off Robert, and we're going to rub it on Zed. You have a good one.
I love it. Speaking of rubbing it on, Nate.
Wow.
Like a doorknob. Everybody gets a turn. I'm out.
All that really escalated quickly. We better get Zunaid out of here before we have some trouble there. But hey, we're having some fun here today. Okay. Sorry, I totally got sidetracked there, but that news about ads was worth it. Getting back to the SPY here, it does look like we're trading up. We did have a higher than expected jobless claims number, and we did have some earnings this morning. So we'll see where the SPY ends up going. Now, do you have anything level-wise or price action-wise here to cover on SPY before we dive into some individual names?
Yeah, I'm just watching what it's doing right now. The open yesterday was at 558.80, and I was just watching this morning as we've been trying to get above and stay above that level. First attempt earlier this morning around the 5 a.m. ish failed. We're back above it now, so we'll see what happens out of the open. We don't want to see this go all the way back up to the to new all-time highs. We still want to see some breakdown here, but like I've been leading on with the past several days, we could still go on to make slightly higher new all-time highs and just kind of go along sideways thereafter, as we've been doing for a number of days now. Still need to see 555 breakdown.
Yeah, to me, that's the next spot here. We'll see if we get that. We are within range here today, so it's possible today, but I think we're going to need a change of direction here. We'll see if and what we get here at the opening print.
Yeah,
okay.
I think I mentioned in chat about COMM, C-O-M-M. This is just actually recently hit the news feed. They are, I believe, spinning off a segment of their business.
Outdoor wireless networks and distributed antenna systems business for $2.1 billion in cash. Deal adds advanced antenna and interconnect technologies, complements existing portfolio for next-gen wireless networks.
Yeah, and
Next
they have
accretive and dilute the EPS. Cool.
They have a 362 million market cap, so that's going to be quite a nice injection of money for them.
Okay, and that comes at a good time here. So this is really good. We didn't even get over to the movers. This one happening recently here, so really good start. One of the other things that we're going to do here is also start with Domino's, since I kind of made fun of that here on the opener. The joke here is that, have you ever destroyed Domino's Pizza on your own? Well, Domino's Pizza is getting destroyed here today. Shares are trading lower after reporting a mixed Q2 results, beat on EPS, missed on sales, also not issuing guidance. And so we suspect that that's also kind of playing into this. Really quickly, they said Domino's Pizza is temporarily suspending its guidance metric of 1,100 plus global net stores until the full effect of DPE's store opens and closures on international net store growth are known. So it looks like they're trying to hammer out a little bit of uncertainty there. As a result, they're pulling their guidance. Domino's down here 14.5%, down almost 70 points here in the pre-market. We'll see. They also declared a 151 dividend, but they've been paying that before. Sorry, 13, didn't mean to.
I don't have anything to add to that. Yeah, the guidance, I think, is suspension is really what's pulling this down.
Now, you brought up an interesting point here in the pre-market or in the pre-show fist fight when we were talking about this. You think that this actually might be a decent buy, or maybe not yet, but soon?
Yeah, at some point, I think this might be. Now, I know that the one side of the argument that you had, which I totally agree with, is that this is going to be one of the companies that suffers if these GLP-1s start to really gain traction and start to be more of a leisure thing. On the other hand, if we are headed towards a tightening consumer and a little bit more of a recessionary measure, then I think this will end up doing better. As consumers cut costs, they're going to go cheaper, and that usually means more pizza deliveries.
Yeah, so good stuff here. Looking at this, we gapped down through the 200 days. So as far as a trade here, 13, I think if we're going to take this to the long side, maybe wait this out and see what we do here at the 500 day. That's at 387. That's literally only like 20 points away from where we're at. Yeah, so good stuff there. Carmen, many thanks for ditching the ads. Anyone else feeling grateful? Carmen, we are grateful for you. We are grateful for all of your support and for the donation here. It is completely unnecessary, but very, very much appreciated. Honestly, the most important thing that we can get here is your feedback. Telling us what you like, what you don't like, how we can make this better, what kind of things can we do to bring you and others back every single day to be a part of our community. That's what we're going to strive for. I will say something, the top brass, they try things, and I don't think that's a bad thing. The good news here clearly is that they also listen to you folks, and let's not lose sight of that. I understand how annoying the ads are, but they listen to the feedback and they changed accordingly. So we're gonna go ahead and live with that. Carmen, I really appreciate this, as well as all of your support all this time.
And Lion Atlas, I don't disagree, and I don't use their pizza, so I guess I don't know how expensive they are. I have seen other delivery services do the same thing where they're charging you, and people still order from them. I think the consumer is a little bit unaware and just kind of trapped into having to pay delivery fees. So as I said, I don't think this is good yet. It could be, but we'll see what happens. I'm not really jumping into this either.
Yeah, then you bring up a good point here. So here's the thing: like, I'm a Chicago native. I can't even think back and tell you the last time that I have paid money for a Domino's pizza. I can't even tell you the last time I've had Domino's pizza. Even when I travel somewhere else, like Benzinga in Michigan, they'll get like a local Michigan brand, like Jets or Buddies or something like that. It's been forever. I can't even tell you how this pizza is. Frankly, being a Chicago native, none of these chains can match the Chicago pizza. I mean, you put Lou Malnati's next to any of these things, it's not even close. It's not even close. Jay Rice here regarding DPZ. Bulls called it a tech company. I still think the fat drugs are hurting some of these fast foods. Jay, I would agree with you on some of that. And I think Domino 13 actually just mentioned this. You might have been away getting your coffee. This, to me, this is one of the stocks that is definitely going to be affected by that, by the GLP-1 drugs. Something like Chipotle, which is a little bit cleaner, a little bit healthier by comparison, probably not going to get hit as much. We'll see. We'll see. That's going to take a while for that effect to really kind of pan out. But Domino's, to me, this seems like this is just all processed. Nothing's fresh. Nothing's great here. That's definitely going to make you sick if you combine that with GLPs. So. Bryce says, what you're paying 3x more than Domino's. Actually, I don't even think it is 3x more. Lion Atlas is doing a really good job of explaining how they like nickel and dime you on some of that stuff, especially if you get it delivered. But frankly, Bryce, it's worth 10x more. So I actually still feel like I'm getting a deal. Like, I don't want to eat the junk at Domino's compared to high quality pizza at Lou Malnati's. So yeah. Now the CMG thing here with the split, I think that's really what's driving it down, right? You had so many people holding this thing for so long with such huge gains that post-split, you're really kind of getting that. Dennis called it a hangover earlier. I like that. Looks like that's kind of what's going on there in Chipotle. And you know what? We're going to be patient. We're going to be patient and wait that one out because eventually that'll give us a buy opportunity, I think. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, I was going to say, let's roll through the movers. I was just making sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. Our chatters came out firing here today, so I wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything there. Okay, and cool. We've actually already covered COM because that actually just ran. Next year is going to be NKGN. This is NKGen Biotech. NKGen Biotech shares are trading higher after the company announced it will present new SNK01 biomarker data at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference. So we're getting another Alzheimer's PR here, or a PR about a Alzheimer's treatment or drug. And so this actually popped NKGN 175. We've retraced more than 50% of the move, and we're using the VWAP here as resistance. Stop me if you've heard this story earlier this week. I feel like we've seen this a number of times here this week. So we really want to be careful about how we're going to trade some of these things. The good news here is that this sure looks like this is doing a good job holding the 120 level right now. We'll see if that continues to break down. But as far as a long side trade, maybe a curl back to the VWAP, depending on where we're at, but we really want to see that VWAP kind of fall before we test some of those recent highs. Did you have anything here on NKGN?
Yeah, so they are going to be presenting data on, I guess they call it the SNK01 biomarker. They are going to present that on July 30th at this, what is this? The Alzheimer's Association International Conference. That runs from July 28th to August 1st. And like I said, the July 30th is when they will present. So there's a bit of a future catalyst coming up there for you as well. So we'll be able to trade this today and then just keep that in mind later on when they do present. I expect that will get some attention as well. 10 million shares in the float. Should be easy to move around. Didn't notice any significant short interest or reverse splits of any kind.
Okay, so there you go, NKGN. We'll see if this gives us a trade opportunity here today. Next one here is going to be Sissy. This is SISI Sierra India. Let me make sure I got that. Yes, I got those right here today. This is Shineco. Feel like we've actually traded this one recently here. Had a pretty decent size move. This really kind of holding out here down about at $1. Didn't really see anything other than last night we had this 8K come through. So maybe that's what's moving it here today. But not a whole lot here on Shineco, mentioning it because it is up here. But frankly, the mover scanner a little bit dry here today, at least for the pre-market.
I wonder if their closing of their public offering had anything to do with some of the movement. Not really, significant movement either. We're talking less than 10% right now. I didn't cover this one because it's not moving nearly as much. But just so you're aware, it's got under 10 million shares in the float at 9.3. The short interest, nothing really to worry about. And as far as reverse splits go, looks like they performed one on February 16th. That was a 1 for 10.
Okay. Two more honorable mentions, I guess I'll just call them here from the movers list, because you're right, there's really not a whole lot on here. Silo, this is one that had a huge move. Excuse me. This is one that had a huge move earlier this week. So maybe this gears back up here today. And then another one of your favorites here, LILM. This actually popping up to 110 here. This was a penny stock yesterday. Did you want to cover anything here?
So somebody had mentioned that they were looking for this to take off yesterday, because I think they were in it. My trade with this one has been over. I'm not in it at the moment, even though I still like this company. One of the news on this one is that the Saudi group purchased ordered 50 of them, and they have an option to acquire up to 100. Now, keep in mind that these jets they cost millions of dollars. So this is future revenue that they're looking towards here. Does have a very high float, 355 million shares. So it's not going to move. It's not going to be able to be moved around like we'd like to see, where it's going to just rip further into the dollar area. I don't know that we'll get that kind of movement today. This is going to be one of those slow-moving stocks that just kind of trickle up. So I think this is going to be a good EV play in the future. This is just some news about an order. They still have to obviously build these, so it could be some time before that revenue makes its way into the coffers of LILM.
Okay. Like being early, though, that's not a problem there. Really good stuff there. All right, let me go back to the chart tool. We pretty much ran through all of the stuff that I guess we could talk about the jobless claims if you have anything on that. I'd like to take charts here from the chat. Anyone that wants to take a look at anything. Jay, I know you mentioned CCJ earlier. We were actually just talking about uranium names with Tim Melvin yesterday. CCJ here trading down here today. The one thing that I would kind of like here on CCJ, let's come into this 200 day and get a couple of closes above it. I think I feel pretty good about opening up a new swing trade if we're able to do that here. Looking at CCJ, 40 really going to be the best support. I don't know that we get down there. Would really have to accelerate to the downside here. But again, the 200 day really only about 2 points away here. If this continues to come in, I'd be looking at this for a potential swing long trade here.
I don't have anything on CCJ, but one of the ones I was looking at this morning was Warner Brothers Discovery. They apparently are going to be spinning off their digital streaming and studio business from its legacy television networks.
Sorry, which ticker was this?
This is WBD.
Warner Brothers, yeah.
I thought this was interesting because we've been talking about how streaming services are not profitable. So them spinning this off means that they're going to be stop losing money in one segment. I don't know what this spinoff is going to end up looking like. If this is, I don't have a whole lot of details on if they're going to sell it to a private company or if it's going to spin off and become its own ticker. All I have here is that it's going to be separating those two, which is going to be good for the company because, as I just mentioned, streaming services are not profitable.
It's had a nice move these last 2 days. We'll see if we get continuation here on a third. Really quickly, Bryce is asking, do you guys look at futures and indexes? It looks like it may have hit resistances turning down. Yes, we do. We do constantly. And you will also, I actually on my in my broker here, I have a chart dedicated to SPY and the S&P futures, the ES. I'll constantly mention that if I notice that the market is moving down. One of the things that you don't see us pulling up the index feeds here, we actually don't have that feed. So we'll look at things like SPY, QQQ. Actually, today we started with the SPY as we do every day. One of the things that we had mentioned here today was that 555 looks to be a level to the downside that's likely going to get challenged, or one that we're watching. So yeah. Yes, we do.
One of the things I was mentioning about the SPY this morning was that open from yesterday at 558.80. That was lost just now when he was bringing that up. So I believe that's one of the things he's talking about, how we just got that second loss of that level in pre-market. So to me, I think if it can't find some support on this move down around closer to 557.80, I guess, then I think that this is going down. Otherwise, it might come back and test it and push through. So that'll be one of the things I'll be watching for here.
Yeah, and this 558 and change level, this actually represented the pre-market low that held. Of course, we broke beneath that when the regular session opened yesterday. Okay, more stocks to take a look at here. We're going to go ahead and go 1 hour loop wants to take a look at HE. That is going to be Hawaiian Electric. We've talked about this one a lot, really, since that terrible fire. Interestingly enough, you're bringing it up here at a really good point. Last time we talked about this, I think this stock was $9. Here we are at 13. So nice little move up. It's done a really good job kind of holding this. The 15-minute chart looks great. Watch for this. If this can break above this elite price level here, 1337, that's going to be yesterday's intraday high. We'll see if we can break above that and maybe get some more juice here. When you take a look at the daily chart, it becomes a little bit more clear. You know me, I love to see these moves above the 200-day. We now have 2 closes above that 200-day. Will today mark the third? Will today present a potential swing trade opportunity? We shall see. Next level of resistance, if we do take that out here, going to be 1610 for me. This is going to be Hawaiian Electric. Rick here saying HE to 30, in my opinion. So there you go. Rick got a bullish call here on HE. 13, what do you think here on HE?
So this movement that we're starting to see, this began on July, looks like the 9th, and that's when we started receiving reports that they may be settling with the occurrences that happened that resulted in the fire. So that is good news, because it means that that chapter in their unfortunate series of downside might be over. So when he's talking about HE going to 30. I still think that could be possible. It could come right back up to where it was prior, maybe a little bit lower than where it was prior, because it's losing money having to settle. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if it's going to just be back to business as normal, I don't want to put it past them that 30's on the table. I don't know how soon it gets there, but I think it's just worth monitoring. If you're in this to play that back to the return to business as normal, you might do pretty well. I just don't have levels or anything like that. I do see that there's a significant gap to be filled between 2230 and 3230. So
now, one of the things that we talked about when this first happened is because you were just talking about a return back to normal. Mm-hmm. We took a look at PG&E. Which also had like a similar type of disaster. It took a long, I don't even know if they are back to where it was prior, and it took a long time. So it's just had a really nice move off the bottom. I do really love the multiple closes above the 200-day. I mean, I'll say it again here. So we'll see if this gets rolling here, but don't expect this to happen as fast as you want it to. Could take some time. Real quick here, Amanda saying, Robert, I'm super invested in Netflix's earnings today. It's either going to be awesome or sting a bit for the next few weeks. Look, that's what makes this job exciting, isn't it? I got to stick your neck out there one way or another. By the way, we here at Benzinga are going to be doing a Netflix Q2 earnings call. I went ahead and threw that link there in the chat, so be sure to check that out. You guys can hang out with the rest of the crew here and kind of bounce your ideas on Netflix back and forth. So Amanda, that's definitely one we're going to be watching here today. There's the stream for that.
One last thing about Hawaiian Electric. It is a short squeeze candidate. It has 22.7% short interest with 5.96 days to cover. Okay, there you go. Neville saying that it has a litigation catalyst.
So we'll see where that ends up going. Okay, let me go ahead and take some more tickers here from the chat. Shannon, great to see you here this morning, taking VLO and then the dancing ladies here. So here is VLO. This is obviously Valero Energy. So it fits into the energy category. We're all kind of talking about this might being a good play if Trump takes over in November here. Looking at where we're at here, we're actually coming off the 200-day. Stop me if you've heard us talking about the 200-day before. We came right into this. We just kind of consolidated around it for 3 days, and now we started to push back up. So let's see if we're able to take out some of these levels. That is the bell. I am going to draw a trend line here real quick. See, this is really what we want to get over here on VLO. Okay, let me go ahead and get everything ready here. Boop, boop. Oops, yeah, sorry about that. 13. Boom, boom, boom. Okay.
Real quick on VLO, one of the biggest refiners out there. So, in the United States. So this could be a really good one in the future. I do like this idea, especially if we're going to not really go towards electrification as quickly as we thought. We're still going to need those different kinds of fuels, including gasoline and diesel. So this could be a good one.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Real quick here, C mentioning you have to read the fire report online. It shows the municipality and not HE is liable. So again, this is kind of going back to the Hawaiian Electric. This is actually a really good comment. This is something that we kind of talked about right from the beginning. For all of you that are into podcasts, there's actually been several podcasts about this. Joe Rogan did a great job getting some of the Hawaiian government members or former government members in there to kind of talk about all this really good stuff here. That's kind of the thesis here for HE, is that at the end of the day, they're not liable. Stock price should return to where it's at. So I'm with you on that one, C. Okay, let's see what's going on. We'll check out Silo. Which one?
They're mentioning Silo Pharma.
Yeah, Silo here broke that pre-market high, didn't it? Yeah, broke it. Yeah, just did.
So for Silo, if we continue with this upside, I'm going to be looking at yesterday's highs. We have a spot at 248 and then the high of 255, almost 256. We could end up just breaking this wall out here at 250 and taking it right up there. So we'll see if that's what we get. Just still kind of on NKG, seeing if that's going to end up going over VWAP or not. It's been trying.
That's NKGN, right?
Sorry, you're right.
Yeah,
NKGN.
Yep. Looks like that test right there at VWAP and a rejection there. We'll see if we get that. Market Sniper, Ryan's EDM stock, TKLF, is moving here. Was this the TKLF Yoshitsu company? I thought it was a different one. Regardless, this is moving here. This is moving here off the gate. ASML getting mentioned here in the chat. This had a huge sell-off. This looks like this is trading back up here. I'm not sure if I see an entry here yet.
All right, looks like NKGN is going to try to make a push here. We have this is actually after hours. We have an after hours high of 175.
Okay, so we're thinking if this gets above VWAP here, 137.
Yeah, I think it needs to get over 140 first, and then once that happens, then we can look towards 175.
Okay.
Still having trouble with VWAP though.
Yep, new low print of the day here, real quick. I wanted to go over a couple of things. I'm interested.
Rocketing. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going. There's just too much stuff happening too quickly here. What else was I missing there? Silo is rocketing. You were saying that is ripping here above that pre-market.
Exactly the thing I was looking for there with the previous yesterday's highs. So now we are getting into the territory of the after hours back from the 16th and going higher. So let's keep looking to the left.
You know what?
Just fly.
This is just for you. And so here we go. So for any of you, look, I mean, the way I day trade some of these names, I'm selling at least partial into this here, folks, because this is a huge move. Get some of those gains booked and make your day start off right. Here we go on Silo.
Yeah, I'd be careful of just getting over 3 here. There's a bit of consolidation back from November of, what is this, 22?
A little bit of size there right at 3.
So, I think between $3 and $3.75, there's going to be some consolidation. Might see some pressure in that region.
NKGN, this coming back up here.
All right. Jay's Life saying Silo can go past 350. Yeah, 375 is kind of where I'm, thinking that it might top out at. But it could blow through that too if it you give it enough time. It might come back in after testing it once and then boom, hits it again later.
I'm going to try some NKGN here. First buy here right at 130. I am watching this low of day here at 125. That spot at 137 and 140 still clearly the upside levels that we want to take out here.
Mm-hmm.
Webcoin, though, I'm going to mention this here. Webcoin saying NKGN no cash. So that is something to keep in mind. One of the things that we've been talking about is that the small cap stocks that you kind of want to take a look at least for swing trading, is going to be the ones that do have cash. Looking at the balance sheet here, he's right. No cash here for NKGN. So this is just going to be a quick trade. We get any type of move above this, any type of pop here, we're just going to sell into that and be okay with it.
Yeah, and seeing as how they burn cash every quarter, they're going to need to raise it soon. So keep that in mind.
So if we get that move, up, we're going to take. We don't want to stick around any of these names here for a potential raise. And frankly, if we fall here, we might just have to reset this. We'll see. There's some bids beneath it, so might be some support here. It clearly is struggling to get above the VWAP here. Let's see if we can actually add to this position if it holds this low.
Yeah, it's still kind of just consolidating right now. It's not really hitting the lows in pre-market, not really getting to the highs in pre-market. It's kind of going sideways.
Real quick, by the way, I'm seeing some ASML calls come through here on the unusual option, a tool within Benzinga Pro. So I'll check that out here in a sec. But I am noticing some calls roll through here for ASML. Alpha Sierra Mary Lima. Did I get that right? Was that Mike? Sorry, darn it. That was the police one. Mike. You got to remember that. We're trying to be 2% better every day, always.
Silo running into resistance here at $3. It's got a little bit of space to go before it really gets into the thick of the consolidation.
That high print that they actually did take stock there at 3, so that was a good move. That's still in play here. Looks like it's curling back up towards that.
Yeah.
See on NKGN.
All right. What else is doing well here?
Jay's Life mentioned Pinterest here. That moving higher today. This actually dipped yesterday and closed higher. Now it's moving higher here again. So Pinterest actually looking pretty decent. This is not one that I trade. Not one that I necessarily care for very much. And, this is another one that we were looking at. This retracing most of its moves. Sorry, didn't mean to run you over there.
Silo popped above 3, but didn't get any higher than 307. Now we're looking for VWAP to continue to hold it up.
Looking like we've got some new lows here on NKGN. I want to, if this really kind of breaks down past 120, I'll just wait for a reset here. We're down barely anything. But if it starts to curl back up, might add to this for that breakthrough 137. See if we end up getting it.
Well, let's see here. Rum getting a pop. And we're also getting a request for Nike.
Okay, we can take a look at that. I will change my screen here in a sec. I just want something to happen here on NKGN, no matter what it is. Tiger teeing off at the open for anyone that's interested in that.
Rum got coverage from Wedbush on it, and they gave it a neutral rating, announced a price target of $8. That's helping push it up. So they're not too far away from that price target.
Nice move here on Rum. Good breakout level here on the daily too, don't you think?
I think this is also a little bit of a squeeze too. I think that's what we're also seeing with this one. All right, NKGN back above 130, trying to push up here.
This looks, the action here tells me that this wants to make an attempt at taking out this high and going. I don't know if that's going to happen here, but it's
needs
looking
a lot
like
of
it
volume.
wants to.
It needs a lot more volume than this.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. NAAS halted. It looks like a number of chatters are on that. This ripping out of the gate and above yesterday's intraday high had that number here at what, 580? Is that what that says? Yeah, 580 there, 588. Nice little move there.
As far as Nike goes, we're getting a movement with this one, likely because it's just getting more attention from bargain hunters. This is a lot of people think that this is oversold. And the RSI would indicate that the stock has moved down too fast over a short period of time. So for a trade, this could be really good. If you're doing it long term, you have a different thesis on this. But for a trade, this is just a low oversold bounce play, in my opinion. I think that's what we're seeing here today.
Okay, really good stuff there. Stock Profit saying NKGN has been trading sideways between 122 and 140 with resistance at 140. Indeed, that high of day and resistance, which you can actually see where there's size waiting there. That's what we want to see get tested here. We'll see if it works. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Silo pushed up to 317 and came back in. So we are seeing that range that I mentioned earlier really keep the stock price down as much as it can. Still trying to push up, though, and still above VWAP. So that's encouraging.
Okay.
As you mentioned, Daniel saying, as I mentioned yesterday, you were anticipating longevity. Oh, did they actually announce an offering? Oh,
Agen, wow. If you're good with knife catching, I'm not. Webcoin. This did recross the VWAP though, so maybe this will get rolling here. We'll see.
So Danielle, this was one of those that I had seen that they needed cash in order to keep going. I believe that's what the situation was. Let me double check their balance sheet here. Yeah, they needed cash. They are burning through it at a rate that they don't of cash they don't have right now. So yes, they did need to raise. Okay, so that makes sense. All right, well that's good. I'm glad to see that this is actually playing out like I'd expect it to. Then that's good. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Joby ripping here. So my first thought is to check ACHR. A little bit of a delayed reaction. We'll see if that plays catch up here. Joby ripping on pretty good volume here this morning.
As I've mentioned previously with ACHR, that 520 level is a big support and resistance level. You can see in pre-market we've been trying to get back above it. So we break out of there. We're going to be looking at that towards support once it does. So that's what it was when it broke out back on 2 days ago, which was Tuesday. Got as high as 547, came back in, lost that support the next day. Trying to get back above it now.
Okay, Pinterest from Jay's Life here this morning. Pinterest right at that 42. It's trying to go higher than 42 right here. Looks like it wants to. There it goes and through. So we'll see if Pinterest continues to move.
Is this moving in sympathy with Meta?
Perhaps. Meta actually had news here today. Meta, that was higher in the pre-market. Looks like it's come in a little bit there on Meta. News here on Meta. Let me grab that here for you. I'm just going to read it right out of the feed.
Zuckerberg sold more. He sold more.
My thing.
I've been telling you, these CEOs of the Mag 7, they are selling. That's four. We have four of the seven selling their stock. Just waiting for it.
Meta to not provide future multimodal AI models in the EU in amid lack of regulatory clarity. Then as well, that insider here, just to kind of close this up here, Mark Zuckerberg, that was going to be 7/17. That was yesterday.
Yep.
As well as the chief legal officer.
Yeah.
Jennifer?
So the only three that haven't sold stock out of the Mag 7 are Cook. I can't remember the Microsoft CEO's name, but him,
Nadella.
And then Musk. Those are the three. Silo, yeah, that's still making its way through that consolidation. I think Jay's Life, you're going to get your 350 here pretty soon if this keeps up.
Jay Rice saying some nasty green to red moves here. It's one of the things that we were kind of watching for, right? Talked about the SPY moving down here and maybe rolling over. Maybe we'll get some more of that here.
Yeah, we're still above 558.
Nike trying to go for 74 here. Silo, nice move above 3 there. What was that? Where did that high go to?
340.
340. That was a nice move there on Silo. Grats to all of you that hit that one. We'll give a register ring out for the group on that. DPZ is ripping, so it looks like that was maybe a dip buy play here. Indeed. So at least so far. This isn't halted, is it? It's just probably spread. Yeah. LPA Oh, that's resumed. NAS has resumed as well. NAAS, that is resumed and higher here. LPA, this is one we've been looking at recently. This thing is wild. This halted to the downside.
Fair shot. Awesome. You just gave a piece of Theoden's speech on the Pelennor Fields.
A sword day, a red day.
Ere the sun rises.
Oh, okay. That's really good, actually. That's really good. NKGN breaking through that support.
Mm-hmm. So the breakdown, the level that I have that's it's headed to, in my opinion, is going to be the 65 EMA, which is at 110.
Okay, I'm going to add 200 here real quick and see if we get a bounce. And if not, this 119, this is our stop. See if we bounce here on NK. This is right at that pre-market low. We'll see if this holds here. If not, we'll move on to something else.
Oh,
Chip tanks right out of the gate as expected. So how are some of those other ones doing here? Nvidia lower, Apple lower, AMD lower. TSM, they reported earnings here this morning. They were actually a little bit higher. They've given back all of those gains now. NKGN, this looks like this is going to fall right here.
nice. Yeah.
Yep,
I'm liking
there
this,
we go.
guys.
Okay, we are out of NKGM before that gets worse. We'll figure out something else here to trade. Keep that stuff small.
And,
DR
you know,
Horton made an acquisition here this morning. They're higher.
and we saw that the scanners are pretty dry this morning.
Yes,
So
yeah, we did.
this isn't too surprising that some of these things aren't going to be working out.
Yep.
Silo working better, NKGN working worse.
Well, speaking of being surprised, I am surprised that Silo did so well. Here's ONCO. This is a penny stock getting mentioned here. This thing's ripping. Silo definitely worked better than I expect. Now, we saw this move here earlier this week, but this move here today, kind of surprising. Great job for whoever hit that. What else is going on out here?
Choppiness is what's going on.
Costco's higher. Apple's still at the lows. Netflix about flat. Remember, we are going to do that Netflix earnings call later today. Let me go ahead and throw that link in the chat again.
I'll take a look at Netflix right now because
Okay. I'll bring it up here so we can actually reference the stuff together. Actually, I'll bring up my bigger chart so we can take a look at some of those levels here real quick.
You know, I don't like the way this is looking with Netflix, at least the chart. They need to get over 664, in my opinion. And they are at risk of losing the 50-day SMA. We already have one close underneath that. It looks like today could be a second, but they have earnings, so that could nullify everything.
I think this earnings print is going to be really, really important. I mean, if there's going to be indecision here at the 50-day, I even think a bad earnings report might take this down towards the 200.
Yep, 550 seems like a pretty good spot. I'd agree with that. And we've been getting some really outsized move off these earnings too, in both directions.
Yeah, we have. I mean, Domino's was down almost 15% here today. Robert mentioning, oh, wait, that was the wrong one, Robert. You mentioned another one here. Schwab, SCHW needed a dip to 62.50. Let me bring this up here. Here is SCHW. Boy, this was trouble the other day. Look at this. This thing just rolled through those moving averages. We are at a kind of a bump here on the volume shelf. Robert saying it needed to go to 62.50 and now it can bounce. So you're looking for a bounce target here. Would still say 61.5. Is possible, but so far up off of that, if we take off of that level that you mentioned, 62.50. I'm sorry. If we take a look at the intraday chart, clearly coming up off the bottom. I'm worried about Schwab here. I'm worried about Schwab here.
You know, let's see, Christopher Beasley, Intel. You know what's interesting to me about this one is that 37.15. That looks like that's going to be a really big breakout level. And if you draw a line there, you can go back to last year and see how that was previously a big level, a big area of resistance until we broke out in November. Now, as it came back in, it kind of just blew right through that level. It gapped through it. But we're testing it again, and it's June and July. It was a big resistance level. I think it's going to be interesting once we get past that again.
I think if Intel doesn't start breaking down, I think this probably tries its 200-day up there around 39.
All right. Silo's still trying to go higher, but the highs of 340 still hanging in there. Looks like some things are starting to weaken.
James mentioning Sissy here. This is SISI. Looks like that went back to the VWAP. Taking a look at the scanner. ONCO at the top of that and Silo. Those seem to be the only two things that are really moving here. NKGN hasn't got any type of bounce yet. United Airlines, this was interesting. United Airlines reported earnings yesterday. Initial move was down. It got pretty much bought all the way back in the after-hour session. We tried to go higher here today and then came back and tested this red-green level. Looks like we're going higher here again. Lynn and Randy, if you're out there, did you go through the United Airlines report? What do you think here on United Airlines?
You know, it looks good is that it successfully, for the time being, we need this data close first, but for so far it's successfully recaptured the 20-day SMA and trading above it now. The next level is to be the 50-day SMA. You can look to the left and you can see that there's plenty of levels that we're running into right now. The current one today, which was at 49.75, let's call it that. That was actually a low from May 1st. So it looks like those that level and today's high are kind of interacting with each other. So that'll be an interesting level to get past, and it'll take us to the 50 if we get past.
UAL had the 100-day is actually in between there. 100 days right here at 48.50. See if we can get through that here too.
Ali, you're kind of talking to you're preaching to the choir, I guess. We've been waiting for a correction for some time because we want to see this market rip higher, but we don't want to see it rip higher absent a correction. We need to see these corrective moves in order for a healthy market to sustain its bullishness. And we have not seen that correction yet. We're only hoping that that's what we're starting to see. We need confirmation first. One of those confirmation points come in the form of breaking down beneath 555. So that'll be the first step for us. We're not saying that we're starting to correct yet until we get confirmation of more downside. I hope that helps. Upticks in tech sustainable? I don't know. I don't think they are. A lot of tech is really overvalued right now. I don't think that a lot of these up moves that these upticks that we're getting on the, as the market's showing some weakness, I don't think they're going to be really worth buying up here. Maybe a little bit lower they will be, but I wouldn't get them up here. Seek a financial advisor for better help. I'm not one, so I can't make any recommendations, but they can.
All right, what else we got moving around here? It actually feels a little bit slow.
RP trades, that's one of the spaces I'm expecting money to go if it leaves the queues, particularly the multi-trillion-dollar names that money's all piled into. I also think this value is going to be getting a lot of attention too. And one of the things about that is that if we are going to start seeing rate cuts, which the market seems to be anticipating, then that means that we're going to be having these value names that are going to be providing better yields than what bonds can or bank accounts. So if you're getting like 5% right now, just leaving your cash in an account or in bonds, that trade's going to probably end up going south on you at some point because the preference will be more in value names that are providing more than 5% through dividends in these equity names. So just keep that in mind. That's what I'm expecting. Value and small caps, basically the real beat up things that have not turned around for a while, that have cash. Right. Yep. This is probably a good time to start talking about our what we're looking for with our scanner. We want to see names that have cash. We want to see the names that have been beaten up and kind of left for dead. We want to see What are some of the other bullet points we were looking for?
High short interest is going to be one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a presentation on that on Tuesday.
So this is looking like it's starting to be rotation, but we got to emphasize we need to see the confirmation, because we could see this everybody pile right back into these big names if something happens.
How many times have we seen a head fake, right? Where we've seen like a pullback for 1-2 days, and then all of a sudden, just the next day, it's the opposite. Look at Apple here. Apple hunting lows here.
Wow.
Netflix still holding in there. Amazon at the lows.
Okay.
Did Domino's keep going? Let's take a look at that. Did that keep bouncing here? No. Yeah, well, it kind of held in there. It's staying above VWAP. Maybe this is worth something. Maybe this is worth trading here today. Domino's, let's see.
Looks like 220s in the future for Apple here on this downside. No guarantee, but that's a level I have.
That was big resistance on the upside when it was trying to move. DHI, DR Horton, they of course bought they have a merger and acquisition here this morning. Let me pull that up here. I can read that to you. This is really doing well though. DR Horton up 10% here today. Shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 financial results and revised its guidance. Also, the company authorized a new $4 billion share repurchase. That's DR Horton. Sorry, it was Darden. I mix those tickers and companies up all of the time. Darden Restaurants ended up buying something here this morning. DR Horton, really, really good earnings here this morning. We should ask Felicia about this probably.
Silo on the doorstep of 550. It has a high of 349. I'm sorry, not 550, 350. Has a high of 349 right now.
Bryce saying here, Reddit groups, they invest on every dip. I follow them, but not advice. It's crazy. So you know what, Bryce, the interesting, we've actually talked about that on Happy Hour too. The dip buyers, that strategy has worked if you were trading tech names for a long time. You don't want to be a part of that when it no longer works though, because the move down is going to be really quick.
Yeah, it'll work until it doesn't. At some point, it's going to stop. And if they're still trying to do that same dip buying, they're going to be caught on the wrong side of the trade.
Yep. Dan, that Darden Restaurants was buying Chewy. Sorry about that. Again, I mess this up all the time. DHI and DRI, I will screw that up until till the last day. Until my last day, I'm sure I will screw that up. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys correcting that though. Tesla is bouncing here. Tesla, Silo, really the only thing that has looked great here for a trade today. Honestly, here, let's go back to the actual.
It might keep going too for a little while. I mean, it's now past 350. I think we were just trying to see if we can get past that consolidation I had mentioned previously. Let's see where it's at with that now. So it is getting to the top of that pretty quickly right now. Once it gets to 375, I'd be interested to see if it can just kind of make a big old push to about 450. That's the move I'll be looking
Look at
for
this
here.
This was the right name to trade here today.
It certainly was. And shout out to everybody that was
Pins
calling
and
out
Silo. Good call, Jay's Life here this morning. That is for sure. Those were the trades.
Man, some of these other names that I'm hanging out in are doing pretty well too. We got good looking movement from ACHR. It's still hanging above 5.
That was
FMC still looking good. That's above 62. United Wholesale, that's up to almost 825. I've taken a lot of United Wholesale off my sheet. Selling into that strength. That was, it's had some really big moves.
UWMC, right? This was you raising cash.
This is, I'm sorry, what?
You were raising cash on this, right? You were selling into this up move here, UWMC?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I still am going to hold a bunch of it in my long-term account, but I was trading this because it looked really good and it had a lot of high short interest. It looked set up for a squeeze, and it's been squeezing since. I mentioned this one back in December, to be honest, and it's just been going up and down, creating all kinds of trade opportunities. Silo now up to got as high as 389. So it pushed through that 375, and now I'm looking forward to take it up to 450.
Soundhound here bounced off yesterday's intraday low. This is worth watching for another up move, especially if it can take the VWAP out here, 553. This is ticker SOUN. Let me bring up Silo here. Man, oh man. Nice little push.
It might cool off for a tick, but I still think this is going to try to push up to 450. That's my next upside target since we blasted through all the other ones.
UFO alien, any opinion on CMG? Boy, you get early bird gets the worm here. We covered CMG quite a bit here this morning before you showed up. CMG, I'm not ready yet here. That VWAP, that doesn't matter to me. I'm looking at a longer term chart here. I definitely think that this can test the 200-day. That round number of 50 is right beneath it. Wouldn't even be terribly shocked if that gets tested. This was a level here going back to February of 2024, split adjusted. So I'm not ready yet here on Chipotle. I suppose if you wanted to start nibbling on a starter here, maybe. But I still think this has some more downside here for a potential swing. I'd be looking at what this does right around that 200-day when it gets down there. I think there's probably some more downside coming here. Speaking of that, by the way, speaking of more downside, I should say, Schwab here looks like this is rolling over again. So here's the daily chart, just to kind of give you an idea of how far this thing fell, right through the 200 and the 500. Here we go on the 1-minute chart. Schwab looking like this is going to go for some new lows here today.
Silo 391 and climbing.
This is wild. Should have traded this one here today.
And we're going to get 4 soon. There's a huge wall there.
Yep. You still in this?
Oh, no. No, I'm not going to chase this.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say that's my issue too, right? I'm not trying to chase anything here. Bang, ate that entire thing and popped through. Had a high there. What did I get? 410 prints. It looks like 414. Excuse me, I got 414 prints on that move higher. Congrats to all of you on Silo, by the way. Hang on, I got to play some sound effects here for all of the folks trading Silo in the group. This has been the trade of the day here. Congrats to all of you on that.
Then a missile silo is what it's been.
Indeed it has.
No, I'm just kind of slowly scaling out of UWMC. This thing is having a really good day today. This is actually making new highs not seen since let me give you a date because it's been a while. Looks like 2021 is the last time we saw this this price. So that's great. Crow mentioning RGS and Line Atlas saying Toll keeps going strong. Well, Toll Brothers, we were talking about DHI. I think that's the home builders in general, right? So that's that particular space. RGS.
Now Toll Brothers might just kind of be moving in sympathy to the DR Horton earnings here. Let me see. Shares of home builders are trading higher in sympathy with DR Horton, which reported better than expected Q3 financial results. That's exactly what's going on here with Toll Brothers. You know, we talked about this being a potential regression back to the mean. Toll Brothers has moved from 111 to 136 in 3 days. No, wait, that can't be. Excuse me, 8 days. Yeah, my mouse moved a little bit there. So huge move here very, very quickly.
I like this mention here with RGS. I'm looking at the daily chart here. This looks like it wants to go higher. And I think you're going to get... and if you get a breakout of that June 27th high, which was at 25.78, I'd be looking at 28 even, and maybe even higher than that. This looks really good. I like the pattern setup. RSI is a little bit high, so there's exercise caution there. But Golden Cross looks like it's the bullish pattern that it's got going on here on the daily. I like this one. I just don't know, let's see the float here. Very low float. Very low float. This could be a mover one day, like more than it's moving today. Like it could really, really move at some point. We'll have to wait and see. But I like this one. This looks really interesting. I don't know anything about the company, don't know how good it is, but the chart, the technicals look pretty good. 435 in Silo. almost to that 450 I was mentioning, because it didn't look like there was a whole lot of obstacles on the way there.
Looks like it's pulling off that high now. This is probably good for it, though, to be quite honest with you. NVAX getting mentioned here. That is ramping. Some pretty decent volume, too. NYCB, which we talked about yesterday with Tim Melvin. More continuation. Had a great day yesterday. Some more continuation here today.
Yeah, I picked up a little bit on that dip.
Yeah.
Just
LPSN. LPSN moving higher here. Line Atlas saying we're seeing a market fatigue. Line Atlas, you want to give some more specifics on what you mean by that? By the way, SPY, so whoever was asking about the market earlier, SPY here up near the highs after that little bit of a break. We'll see if it can get above the pre-market highs yet.
Well, it's through the open yesterday. Let me take a look at its smaller time frame here. So yeah, it's 558.80. That was the open of yesterday. Couldn't get back above it once it broke down around between 10:30 and 11. Need to see this push higher, or else it's going to fall right back beneath it. Is it going to do it here? Looks like it's trying. Anyway, I'm not going to sit around and watch the SPY do its thing.
Seeing some, let me make sure that I'm seeing the right thing here. Yeah. Saw some Apple calls and Tesla calls cross the tape. Looking at the Apple chain here, it looks like next week's 227.50 is really, really active. 15,000 contracts have traded at that strike and expiry already. That's going to be the 26th July expiry, 227.5 call. 15,000 contracts trading there. Apple's bouncing here. Maybe it put in a temporary low. Interesting. Just kind of noticing that.
Silo coming back in after reaching 435.
This is interesting. I will always take anecdotes on stuff like this. I was a hairstylist for 35 years. Wow. Around the year 2000, our high-end salon was bought by RGS. Went to hell in a handbasket after that. Interesting. I wonder if anything has changed in those, the 20 years or so since then. Shannon, SLB, that's Schlumberger, isn't it? That's another energy name. I know you were on Valero earlier here. Schlumberger, we'll pour one for Mitch here and call it Schlumberger. But Schlumberger here anyway, reporting its Q2 earnings here tomorrow. I'm not in it, but it's on my watch list on how it reports first. Can say lots for the rest of next week. Okay, so Shannon, looks like you're setting up next week based on whatever Schlumberger reports here tomorrow. Let me see if I can get that. That is going to be tomorrow morning, of course, tomorrow being Friday. Actually, that looks like that's up off that 42 support level. Let me take a look at C. Insiders selling a little bit at the end of May, beginning of June. That was a little bit ago. We'll see there. Ticker SLB. We shall see. Excuse me. How's Silo doing? Did we break down through 4? We did. So we lost 4 here. Let's see if we can reclaim. There we go. Wow. All I had to do was talk about it. Very quickly reclaimed it, and now we're back beneath it. Silo's still figuring out where it's going to go next.
For me, I'm looking at the XIII, since we're all talking about energy, and I have 93.50 marked off here as a level of interest. It seems like I put this level in here because that's where we kind of bottom out in April before bouncing and then subsequently falling through it. Now we're trying to get back above it. We've been doing that for 2 days, been rejected. Well, this is the second day if we close beneath it. I'm going to be looking at 93.50 as resistance turns support if we break through it. We start closing above that. I think that's going to be a good level of support, and we could end up taking this a little bit higher.
It clearly tried to do this yesterday. 13 really could not hold above it, and it's already tried again here today. I think you're onto something here with this one.
Yeah,
you're on to something here. Real quickly, I wanted to get the opinion here of the group, but also of Jay here, Jay Rice. I know CCJ has been one of the stocks that you have traded really, really well this year, 2024. Looking at the daily chart here, CCJ are actually coming in a little bit. To me, I actually think this looks good if this can hold the 200-day. Got that at about 45.80. I'd love to know what you think here, Jay. Last time we came in and tested this level, we bounced pretty nicely off of it. Would like to know what you think here if we do make it down and then hold that 200-day. Got to think that that would be pretty bullish for a potential trade here.
Shannon, you sold the last of your XOM yesterday, and you don't think it's coming back?
She said she doesn't want to take a look at it, so I won't pull it up here.
Well, I mean, like, but you did well in it, right? I mean, you got your gains, and I mean, I don't think anybody should really be getting upset about things running after you've gotten out of them. Your trade worked, and it's over, and you're done. You booked profits, and great. Let's move on to the next thing and do the same thing again. I think you did well. AISP waking up. Oh gosh, here we go.
Airship again.
Yeah,
oh, here we
with
go.
hydrogen getting ready.
Where's
to
Glenn? Someone get Glenn. Glenn's been calling airship since we started taking a look at this.
Silo really coming down now, looking for support at VWAP, which I currently have at 346, 347-ish.
Oh, I have the wrong screen up here. Sorry about that. Shannon's got rigs. Shannon playing the ocean here. Or the ocean. Lord, that's the name of it. Shannon's not playing the ocean. Shannon's playing energy. The energy names here. So, I'm sorry. Transocean, which is, of course, rig here. Valero, which is VLO, which we talked about. And then DJT. Actually, we haven't looked at DJT here today. This daily chart looks like that kind of pop and drop. Maybe this is gearing up for another move here. That 50 and the 100 kind of combined there at 41.5 thereabouts. Just a few points away from where we're at here.
Yeah, nice mention on PLTR.
Always drill. Let's go.
That's getting right up to where I have this top of my channel at 29.50. See if it breaks over that or if it gets rejected. This top of the channel, 29.50. That's an area of particular interest. If you look to the left on a daily chart for Palantir, you can see how we've had rallies reach that point and then turn around. So that's all I'll be looking at. Silo coming down even more.
Cade Father here. DJT has done nothing since Monday. It really has slowed down since Monday. One of my calls was that this might remain volatile through the RNC. That has not been the case, at least not so far. But it has been my trade of the year so far, swinging since late June. Sold it on Monday at the 46 high. Look, a trade of the year, that'll get you a register ring and a one-up. Great job there, Cade Father, on your trade of the year.
DJT has got many future catalysts, in my opinion. I think if you see Biden dropping out of the race, that's going to push this. Things of that nature. I'm not saying that he is, because he's stubbornly wanting to push forward with it, but just making a point about DJT. You have a number of catalysts this year that could definitely push this back up. Just keep your eyes to the news.
Real quick here, I wanted to comment here on Amanda's comment. We're talking about here. Let me get a better chart up here. Eli Lilly, ticker LLY. Thinking about it, holy smokes, what a pullback on Lilly. Yeah. This is another one that we have discussed. Oh, what's going on, Nick? Good morning, my man. Hope you are doing well. Great to see you here this morning. Regarding Lilly here, so Amanda, you were mentioning how this is kind of a heck of a pullback. This actually is a pretty decent pullback. I mean, this is from 967 to 890 here in 4 sessions, right? So it's like 70 points in 4 sessions here. One of the things that the Happy Hour group was discussing yesterday, though, is that if any of these start pulling back more, and I understand that the whole GLP weight loss drug tailwind that's kind of pushing this stock along. Look how extended this is. First of all, we're still 170 points from the 200-day, and look where this consolidated between September and January of this year. This stock consolidated around 581. That is 300 points ago. 300 points ago. So frankly, this thing, if this really starts to move to the downside, there could be an even more substantial pullback here. Obviously, the $64,000 question is, are we going to get that with the GLP-1 thing?
Shout out to Sydney Osborne asking about Biden with COVID. I don't like talking about politics too much, but here's the thing about that I've been watching. He had mentioned that he would consider stepping aside if he came down with some kind of medical issue, and then he gets COVID. I think in the same day yesterday, there's a report that comes out that he got COVID while speaking in Nevada. Now we're seeing rumors that Harris might run atop of the ticket and pick a VP candidate. Biden might end up stepping aside. So there's another potential catalyst there for you for DJT, in my opinion. If we see that happen, I think DJT gets another pop.
Interesting. By the way, this daily chart, we talked a little bit about NYCB earlier. This daily chart looking pretty good there. Stella, does Benzinga stream live on Spotify or something like that? Thanks. I don't think so, but you know what? Now that you're asking this, let me get a very, very clear answer from the team, and let me see if that's possible. So let me know a little bit more about why you're asking this. Is this something where you'd want to listen to the stream while you're doing something else, like working out or working or whatever? Spotify on some of the podcasts, there's obviously accompanying video. I'll ask about this. Let me know a little bit more about how you plan to use that, though.
All right. Kind of just looking around to see what we can trade here. What are you folks seeing? Market Sniper, you're getting ready for a buy on Silo at 350. All right. Looks like NKGN just kind of going sideways down here under 110. This probably could end up going lower. We'll have to wait and see if that's what happens. If this goes lower, then it's going to fall down into the where it initially started this run, and that's going to be backing down into the supply zone under $1. I'm sorry, demand zone under $1.
Okay. There we go. Stella, thank you here. YouTube is not working well while I have other windows open. Okay, I'll see if I can find you an answer for that. It's a Chrome thing where it pauses the video while going to another window. Interesting. Okay, I'll try and get you an answer for that. Appreciate that. Okay, what else? Sorry, I was kind of focusing on something else there. What did I miss? Palantir higher. Tell you what, this thing, I should have just swung this one. I should have. This is another one of those stocks where I feel like I miss out on it too much. Like Costco. We'll wait for another pullback here. Slap me if I don't start adding Palantir long 13. Not to give you homework or anything. Make sure I don't screw this one up.
Yeah, I'll send you a text or something. Keep in mind it could use some cooling off. It is pretty extended. It has had a nice 42% run since it came off the bottom in June. So that's a pretty good move. I'd like to see this one go higher too, but like I say with the SPY, I don't want to see these things go higher absent some kind of corrective or pullback move, because that would be a healthy set of movement for going higher. You always want to give these one step backwards in order to take 2 or 3 steps forward with these things. All right.
Go back to trade the pool and look for something here. I'm like itching to trade.
Well, you mean, it looks like Silo's trying to get turned around here, so there might be a trade there. This might be the pullback you were waiting for. NKGN still looks like that's going lower. I think.
Your first step's your best step.
Yeah, I think this might be going under $1.
We didn't get the bounce that we were hoping for. No reason to really kind of go back to it unless something changes there. By the way, seeing some Netflix calls across the tape here. Remember, that's ahead of earnings, Netflix.
Well, yeah, Daddy Backstrap, if this is one step backwards, we're going to need to see it take that full step backwards, and that's going to be in the form of 5 to 10%. And we're not there yet.
I love hearing when you address people like Daddy Backstrap. That's hilarious. AC2000.
And now it's on the internet forever.
Yeah, I mean, look. Okay, so interesting. So cold here with a K. I don't have that here in Trade the Pool. That's going to be your short natural gas. We actually just talked about natural gas here. Talked about natural gas being a potential bull run. Mm-hmm. Not sure that I would necessarily. So AC 2000. Oh, sorry. Look at cold for a swing opportunity here. Let me bring it up in the screen that I can actually show it here. I had entered at 47.1, exit yesterday at 72. Look, these ETFs for natural gas, crazy. That is a great move here. Great move here. And it happened really fast. So really awesome job capturing that one. Sorry, 13. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Speaking of moves, it looks like Silo's trying to turn around and come back up. So we'll see if that's the case here. Currently trying to push up to 4. It's got a little bit of close to 20,000 shares in order to chew through to get to 4, but it's working its way up there.
Bonjour, Smoke Tuna. Good morning. Well,
Hey.
I think for you, it's probably the afternoon or the evening. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Silo is curling back up here, so didn't quite get to the VWAP there. 390 and 4, your next spots here. We took 390. They put size in on the bid. There's some size on the offer here at 4. Watch if that falls here. We're on it.
It's getting
They chunked about a chunk of it. Sorry.
Oh, here they come. They're trying to push it down with those asks. Well, let's see what else is moving here. We're almost out to 12, and then
there we go on 4. So Silo through 4 here. We'll see if this continues to push. They did take all that size there. Nope, now they're yanking it off that. A little tricky there.
I mean, it'd have to go back down to 365 and lower, but it's. I still think this is going to end up trying to push up to that 435 and maybe even go higher.
Did you grab this dip?
I already did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're okay. Yeah. So you're in this for a push to the high. Okay, sweet. Let's go. Let's rip. Let's rip.
LSPN says Charles Armstrong.
LPSN, I think.
I'm sorry, did I read that wrong?
Yeah.
Yes, LPSN, my bad.
Live person. This is one that we've talked about a lot. This has been a penny stock for a long time, but we've traded this one here on the show before many times.
Just raising my stop in Silo so I don't lose on this trade.
DPZ heading back down. So that after that initial bounce, looks like we kind of rolled over there on DPZ.
All right. I'll done with Silo.
Smoke Tuna sounds like he is living the life, making omelets with mushrooms picked in the forest at the summer house. I'm not a mushroom fan, but that sounds like you're really getting it done, Smoke Tuna. Sounds like you're doing it right.
A little bit jealous.
I was going to say, if I could go pick ingredients for my omelet in the back of my summer house and then whip up a breakfast, oh.
Yeah, after
sounds like a really good day. I mean, that
Jeez.
sounds like a really good day.
Big names turning down. Dell, Tesla, Apple. Yep.
Yeah, and now Tesla, that one's interesting because that actually had a really nice bounce earlier. Apple is bouncing right now, but we'll see. It's only about 1.5 points.
Yeah, on the daily chart, Tesla's consolidating. So I don't necessarily think, or not think, but I don't necessarily consider this to be breaking down quite yet. It got support last week at that 233 area. I need to see this break down somewhere. It's not looking too good, but I need to see this consolidation falter. It's going to go in one direction or the other. It's going to either break out at 271 or it's going to break down beneath 233. Nike testing Head and Shoulders. Let me take a look at Nike then.
I'll take a look at Nike here too. 73.50.
Now, what time frame are we looking at this Head and Shoulders you're referring to? I mean, I guess if you're looking at a daily or not,
maybe a 15 minutes,
15 or 5-minute chart, I guess, or even a 1 minute probably might be better. Okay, I see it now. All right.
Wait, Crow, is this real? Did Mbappe really go to Real Madrid? Sorry, 13.
No, it's okay. I see the HNS now. Yeah, so this is probably going to end up going down to maybe 73.20, 73.25. That's where sort of peg this downside move because it's actually fully resolving right now. We already got both shoulders. We have the head. It's already broken down beneath the neckline, and now we're getting to a morning consolidation level, and it's either going to find some support around here, or it's going to go down to that 73.25 level that I had mentioned previously. All right. How are these other ones doing? Looks like Silo flushed me out, so it's still trying to push up, back up to 4, but that's fine. I made a little bit of change on that one. Looks like it's trying to go for 435. It's got to get through 410, where there's a big old 20,000 share order.
I'll bring up Silo here. Sarah's looking at some other charts just to see if I can find anything. I'm kind of short some good ideas here today. I was hoping this was going to be a little bit more active.
It's a bit of a muted day.
Yeah, it does seem like that.
It's almost like if you weren't already in some of these before, then yesterday, then you're got limited options that for taking gains.
Yeah, and I had been closing swings recently, so kind of been selling some of my winners recently. I haven't even looked at AEHR. How's that doing here today? Let me see. We were all out of that yesterday before the close, so even though those calls had some more time, I just did a really good job holding 20. Might be some more move there.
So I would have liked to see Silo get that move by now, and the longer this goes on, the less confident that I am that this is going to actually push up to that 435 and through. The MACD is starting to make me think that, and I'm looking at a 5-minute chart here. So we start to roll over, then I guess I would be expecting that. But there are a couple of things that still make me think we could see that 435. Just to wait and see what happens. But right now, it's not looking too encouraging.
Good morning. Stay focused. Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by here. What are you trading here today? Did you take a look at Schwab, by the way, which actually looks like it wants to move lower here? I know we discussed that yesterday. UNH is running about a 5. So UNH, so we talked about that. This is a stock that is very, very, very owned by government officials. I think almost all of them. One of the higher stocks there. It's not a tech name in terms of being owned by people in Congress. So how's Humana doing? That had a huge sell. Look at that. That is already back to 400. Let me go to a bigger chart here on Humana. I was a little bit early to this Humana trade when I first tried it, but I think that there's still some more juice here. Here's the chart.
Here we go with Silo, I think. I think it's trying to make that move. It's really trying to fight to get over 4. Here we go.
Okay, here, I'll go to the Humana afterwards. Let's do Silo right now. No, it's fine. We got an active thing going.
Yeah. If it's gonna happen, it should happen here. Otherwise, we could see this rollover. But as far as UNH goes, this is fairly extended. I don't think I'd be chasing UNH up here for a long play.
The internet is undefeated, man.
Oh, and it will be undefeated always.
What?
And it will be undefeated always.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I was just seeing some things flash across Twitter here. Real quick, I'll go back to that. PLTR is getting mentioned here. Yeah, we checked on PLTR. I don't see entry here, Lynn. This is really kind of just run away from me. I need this to pull back. But here, what? Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the PLTR. I agree. This would be chasing at this point. I think you'd be chasing if you didn't buy back in June. You'd be chasing all through July, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Here's what I'm thinking on Humana. All right. So we had this huge move down, really, for all of 2024. We're kind of coming up off the bottom here. We had multiple gap downs on this chart. We filled one of them, right? Filled this one here from 382 to 403. That's done. We're right here at the 200-day. Today could be the first close above that 200-day. That would be notable. Definitely going to watch this into the close here today. And then beyond that, if we go past 414, we have another gap fill up to 440. So you definitely have a potential move here, and then you got the 500-day above there at 458. So the Humana has moved nicely recently. We'll see what happens here at this 200-day. If this can hold above this after this recapture, I might try this via swing through calls. Honestly,
Silo making that move, and with Humana, those gap fills could be interesting.
Yeah, they could, especially if it recaptures that 200-day. Here's Silo going for those highs. Good job, 13.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's going to get them. There's a lot of pressure on this one.
430's got some size there.
Mm-hmm. It could do it. I just would exercise caution. Move your stops up, folks. That's what I would be doing. The
high print there is 437. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I got 435.
There it goes.
There it goes.
Boom. Hopefully.
Right. What?
I was just saying, hopefully you trimmed into that pop. They immediately yanked it back down.
Mm-hmm. It still might go. Well, maybe not now. I was going to say it still might have a little bit.
Look, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Don't be afraid to take those gains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was mentioning raise your stops. That's why.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Well, there was that one. We can either wait for it to set up again, or it actually might be done this time. We'll have to wait and see. It looks like the MACD is kind of giving us that signal, but we'll have to wait and see if it does set up. I think we want to see support at about 380 if it cools off a bit here and sets up for another move up. But we'll have to wait and see. That was the trade there. Silo's been a good one this morning.
Yeah, it sure has. And this was one that we were trading yesterday as well. It's back for some more action here today.
Yeah, Jay's Life, I think he was mentioning yesterday as well.
Yeah, this was our top mover yesterday. Mm-hmm. Or was that Tuesday?
Well, let's look at the chart here.
Yeah, it might have been Tuesday.
For me, it was a Tuesday. What movie is that one from?
Oh, God, that does sound familiar. I've seen it, haven't I? We've talked about this before.
Oh, it was a horrible movie, but it had so many memes.
What is it?
Street Fighter.
Oh God, no! There's no way. I have seen that, but there's no way I was going to be able to quote that one. No chance.
Gosh. One of my favorite quotes of that.
Look, Parker got it though.
Yeah, you'll know the scene when you see it, and then you'll incorporate that into your daily conversation. Yeah, NKGM looks like it's trying to turn around here.
That's still at the $1 level though.
Well, it's close to there. It didn't break down by $1. But the volume is just abysmal. So
for a hamburger today, I will gladly pay you on Tuesday.
Well, I remember where that's from.
Good Burger?
God, now I feel old.
Is that actually what it's from?
No.
What is it from?
No, it's from Popeye. That was
oh God,
I can't even remember the character's name in the show, but he was always about hamburgers. Was it Wimpy?
Wimpy.
Like that?
Wimpy.
Yeah. There you go.
Robert Davis was all over that. All caps. Yeah. Wow. Christopher got that. Oh my goodness. You guys. We got some Popeye fans in here. KGM, this curl continues, Smoke Tuna.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Curling continuing.
Looks like DJT found the bottom, and now it is actually consolidating. It's consolidating, but it's trying to move up through 3650. You seeing this? It's getting picked on, and it's still holding the VWAP. It seems like at some point, if we, it's just like one small news catalyst away from pushing through. 80s baby for the win. Yeah,
I was going to say I call them Reagan babies, but yep, same deal here. Amanda saying Wimpy seems like he would be a put seller. Oh, I like when the group has fun in the mornings.
I would happily pay you a premium today for 100 shares on Tuesday.
Oh my God. You folks have outdone yourself once again. Neon getting mentioned here by the Crow. Crow, hope you're doing well here today. Neon
yes.
came right back in, ripped to the highs there.
Great call out there, Sam. Rest in peace, Shelley Duvall.
Yeah.
She played olive oil in the live action Popeye opposite.
Oh, I didn't even realize. That's right.
Yeah, that was it took me a second when I first saw that. I was like, that's Robin Williams. And I was like, oh, okay, well, he's perfect for it.
Netflix moving to the lows here. Remember, we are hosting that conference call later today on our YouTube.
What are you folks looking at right now? Looks like NKGN is still trying to make that comeback. It's just doing it slowly. Intel with a little bit of a pull here. And that little bit of a pull is turning into a little bit more of a pull.
Coming right back into VWAP. Stay focused here. You were looking at Amazon and NVIDIA here today. Amazon continuing to hunt lows here. SPY at the lows too. NVIDIA looks like it might set new intraday lows here. SPY, big pull here. Actually, this is across the market. NASDAQ doing the same thing. Dow even pulling back here, but not as much. We must have got big news there, didn't we?
It might be on the calls for Biden to step aside.
Oh, yeah, because it's Schiff. It's Schiff and Pelosi.
Yeah. So
now, wasn't that just a couple of months ago, Adam Schiff made a big deal about people questioning Biden's ability because he's so old, and now here he is.
Maybe, but hey,
these people are just unbelievable.
But there it is. But look, this is what I was talking about. It was just one small news catalyst away from pushing over that. And I'm talking about DJT. One small news catalyst from pushing over that level. We got that catalyst. We got that push over the level. It's now back up to the open, or it was briefly. Now that we're looking for support here at the 36.50 level. Let's see if that's what we get. Because if we do, then I think it's going to it has the potential to push up higher into the pre-market highs. Yeah, there you go, Jay. Wow, there goes GD. Yeah, hey, we're on top of this, folks.
Yeah, we are.
Silo still not done.
Seeing a post here on Twitter as well. I'm just going to read it to you. This is from Alert Channel, which is an X account. Alert: Japanese government officials are warning that China is preparing to launch an invasion of Taiwan at any moment.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So now that so that's interesting because they definitely want to do that while this administration is still in power.
Well, here's the thing.
Remember, we're running out of time to do that.
We had the rumors about Xi having a stroke. We just finished. They just finished their third plenum. So I'm curious if something came out of the third plenum that says, "Yeah, we need to pull this trigger now and invade."
Didn't we see Xi after that? Here, let me actually. Didn't we see Xi after that third plenum? That stroke stuff is nonce, right?
I haven't seen any. Okay, so there hasn't been anything to refute that. And the longer that goes on, the more that it's likely that could be the case. Now, we've had a couple of discussions about what could potentially happen if it is true and she did suffer a stroke. The power vacuum that would exist and the need to fill the void could be really volatile. And there was there was another point too. But if this is what's happening, there could also be martial law declared. So go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were done, and I'm trying to answer Robert's question. So, Robert was asking, isn't Biden stepping aside good for the market? Why the reaction? No, because you're going to have a whole. See, the market, I think, was pricing in a Trump presidency or Trump's second term, I should say. So, to me, that is removing uncertainty from the market equation. Thus, the market the market does not like uncertainty. So if you remove that, market can go higher. Now, if there's more chance of this happening, you're reintroducing the same uncertainty into the market. Thus, we get a move lower. So, Robert, I think that's why we're getting that reaction. This rumor here that I was mentioning, do you guys want this link here? I'll go ahead and post it in the chat. Here's the X link that I read you earlier. Again, that I don't know if this is confirmed or anything. I'm just giving you the information that I have. Axios wrote a story that's saying, quote, top Dems believe Biden will exit, end quote.
Yeah, and the other thing is that if we are going to, guarantee the Trump presidency with Biden stepping down, then we're going to continue to see these really big tech names sell off, and I think that we're going to see more rotation into the more beat up names that we've been talking about that are more sensitive to rates, because he is on, he wants rate cuts, and he's talking about after Powell's term. He's talking about replacing him. So there's a lot of sentiment towards lower rates at this point. And with a guaranteed Trump presidency, I think you're going to see selling off in the really big tech names. That's going to pull the market down, since it's kind of overweighted into these small handful of trillion-dollar names. We're going to see a lot of exiting there and into the smaller value and rate-sensitive names.
Seeing a lot of reposts here on X regarding this same thing. Shout out to our news desk team for getting it in there early. This seems to be what some folks on X are talking about right now. So
Vintage Tool Restorations asking, isn't it possible that Kamala has a better chance to beat Trump than Biden at this point? There's one thought here that I have with that, and it's going to be that if they have to kind of push this, if that's going to be the ticket where Kamala's on there and it's going to be Kamala and Biden, then they need to really make the point that now Trump's the old guy on the ticket. And I think that's the only thing that they can really go with, because he's too popular.
I think the other side knows that, which is why they took Vance as the VP to kind of combat that personally.
So this is just a really big strategic game that they're playing right now. And I think if they are going to remove Biden, it doesn't matter who they really replace them with. I don't think that the Dems have this one this year.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it matters.
Something else would have to happen. Something else would have to happen to Trump.
Real quick here regarding that rumor that I had posted here, that X rumor about Japan, saying that Japanese government officials are warning that China is preparing to launch an invasion of Taiwan at any moment. We are so fortunate in the happy hour. We actually have a gentleman that is boots on the ground in Asia there. I'm going to read you his quote here. Ryan, was watching the Japanese news earlier today. Haven't seen any coverage along these lines at all. I'll look at a few additional channels here soon. We haven't gotten any warnings either, so fingers crossed. So the boots on the ground saying we don't really see that here, but worth mentioning. Any of that news I see, I'll pass it along to you.
SPY is continuing to go lower. We're now lower than 556. I think 555 could be on tap today. At the rate this is going down, not going to discount it. DJT with some pullback here, but this could just be setting up to go higher. Let's see what happens here.
IVP getting a mention by Tony. IVP did ramp and kept going.
All right.
Let's see what else do we have. TSM. Okay, so Michael trading TSM. Wow, great job. My short is working on TSM, covering here 168.50. Michael, great. Michael, excuse me. Great job on that short there on TSM. Great, nice job playing the news, frankly, right? Looking for a TSM move down. You get a news post that makes your trade work. Book those gains. Great job there. Great job there.
NAAS, that one has curled off its bottom and it's trying to push up right now. Just touched 6. Yes, Sahur. We were just talking about that. It looks like there's an additional push for Biden to step down coming from what was his name?
The party. Pelosi, Schiff, the entire top brass of the party.
Yeah, and now we're seeing a mention from Axios saying top Dems now believe Biden will exit.
Yep.
And I think I mentioned this earlier, and I got a couple of people kind of questioning the timing as well. Biden saying that he would not step down unless there was a medical reason to do so, and then later that day he gets COVID. So self-fulfilling prophecy, I guess.
Step down because of the flu.
Well, I think there's a real concern with his age and getting COVID. And I think that would, I don't care who you are. I think that's just the wisest move to make. Just because if that worsens, then you're going to have to replace him anyway.
Looking around the scanner here.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple of ex-girlfriends moving here, BLCN and TKLF.
BLCN, that did pop here.
Mm-hmm. Regarding something about Tesla, well, let's take a look at Tesla. And as a matter of fact, while I look at Tesla, I want to see what else is down. Okay, so of the Mag 7, only Tesla and Meta are up. NVIDIA kind of flat. But let's see here.
That actually might be making a move towards its VWAP. SMCI getting mentioned here.
Yeah, as far as Tesla goes, that's still just kind of sideways right now. I really couldn't tell you what to make of Tesla right now, because it's been consolidating since quite literally since earlier this month, and at some point, I don't know when, it could be very, very soon though.
So
break out or break down.
Stay focused mentioning here that the SOXS is ripping. So let me ask you, if we do, given the news here with the whole like China, Taiwan thing, that would obviously affect semiconductors as a whole, not just TSM. We think this is maybe a add-on weakness, right? If you get pullbacks down to some key levels here, maybe SOXS for a potential swing trade. Are we thinking that? I know it's kind of already moved. The easy money's already been made there, but there might still be some more in this to get. Just passing through, mentioning Neon here. That's doing new highs, making new highs right here on Neon. This was a great move from the 2.5 handle. NAS, NAAS, that through its VWAP. That was a nice little dip in VWAP capture there. NYCB has continued to keep moving higher. God, that was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, over 12, and looks like it's going to try to push over 12.15 at some point. That's just beneath the high that we made. I think that could be a breakout level intraday. Silo is still hanging around 4, so has not broken down.
We'll take a look here at Silo. Pound those keys. Pound them.
Sorry, just trying to respond to somebody here.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right. Yeah, keep going, Nas. I hope it keeps going for you too. But it looks like it's starting to cool off a bit.
I don't see anything unusual here at the options yet. I was wondering if we were going to see maybe some options paper changing hand on some of this news. Nothing that I've noticed anyway. How's Eli Lilly doing? We checked that a few times here today. Eli Lilly continuing to move down here. You guys using hotkeys? No, Crow, I don't use hotkeys. When I first started trading, like way back, like at the beginning of the career, I was watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos. Hotkeys were one of them. All it takes is a couple of incorrect trade executions using hotkeys, and you'll give them up in a hurry. Man, the worst was, it was just one day I literally just hit some of the wrong buttons, and I was like, oh shit, I'm down like $800. And that was the end of that chapter. So no, I do not use hotkeys. I understand though, and actually I've got some day trader friends that are super fast and swear by them. So it's not necessarily a right or a wrong thing. Just didn't work for me.
I don't
had a bad experience.
Yeah, I don't use hotkeys, but I do think they are super useful. They just are like there's something you have to train yourself to get used to.
Yeah, that's a good piece of advice, actually.
So if that's the way you want to perform your trading, just take the time to do that. It can work out really well in your favor, or not so much when in Ryan's situation. But
yeah,
still, I think it's just a preference thing. It's not necessarily the right or wrong way to trade. It's just a useful way for some people that like to get their orders in quickly. All right. What are we looking at now, folks?
I'm looking at some just kind of looking into this whole rumor thing, because with our boots on the ground saying that they're not really hearing or seeing anything, I'm skeptical of it.
NAS pushing up to the intraday highs. What a move. What a move. The high today is 650. We're right on the doorstep there, trying to push there right now, and we just blow through it. How about that, folks?
13's out here having a grand old time today.
It's
I
just
love
a
it.
fun day.
I just love it. I just love it. Neon's still on the scanner, but we don't have a whole lot here. NAS, Neon, NKGN, that's still down by $1.
Yeah, NKGN might be one of those that just comes around later today. But Silo's still hanging around. It's just hanging out above 4 more frequently now. Let's see if it can push past 420. I think that might be the level it needs to close over here. NAAS, that one, really, really awesome move.
Campaign aide saying Biden is not wavering on anything, end quote.
Okay. If you say so. Not you, the campaign guy.
Yeah, no, I'm look. I'm following the stuff on X2 here.
So
a lot of discourse going back and forth. Let's keep it that way.
NAAS pushing towards 7 now. Also IVP. This one has been a pretty decent one all month. That one put in the high of 1235, holding at 1204 at the moment. Man, it looks like NAAS is going to hit 7.
Sorry.
No worries.
Sorry. There's actually more non-market stuff. Well, I guess this stuff does affect the market, but I still don't have any really great ideas here for entry. I guess SPY dumping. I think you went up yesterday and today. Do you have any thoughts on this relationship?
Yeah,
Spiro,
it's a lot of all the money that's been stored up into these really big names is leaving, and they're putting all that money into different names. It's gonna be the really beaten up names that are still good companies. It's still some of them still pay a dividend. Nike's going to be one of them. You're going to see a lot more diversification out of tech and into some of these consumer discretionary names. I think you're going to see them in utilities, defense, REITs. I think you're going to see all those start to turn around since they've been super hammered, and all the money's been hiding out in this basket of trillion-dollar stocks. So, yeah, that's what I believe the correlation is. We're rotating out of that and into the smaller value names and small caps.
Cut.
All right, here comes 7 on NAS. It's right on the doorstep there. I think it got to $6.99. Yes, it did. And there's 7.
There it goes.
Ta-da.
Where Silo's just kind of compressing here around 4. This actually might be one to keep on watch for this afternoon in case this starts to go. Did we get any type of change? No, DPZ, that bounce was very short-lived. Now we just got a slow bleed. Let's check Schwab as well. Schwab actually might be curling back here, although I don't trust that. Adobe getting mentioned here by Robert. Not a whole lot going on there either.
yeah, it just seems like a whole bunch of stocks right now, with the exception of like NAAS and IVP. They all just seem like they're holding their breath at the moment.
SPY's trying to bounce too after that move down there.
That was quite a bounce. Still not getting to 555. It keeps running into that demand zone just above it that was put in after we broke out of it over the 555 level. We had a couple of days where it just kind of went sideways over that level, and that's kind of what it's running into. Can't wait for this 555 to break down. I think that could be the start of a lot more downside. We'll have to wait and see if that's the case. Silo under 4. Yeah. What a great call by Pro on NOS. I believe that's who it was, right? All right. Well, what's looking good, folks?
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at that myself here. Got about 5 minutes left. Stay focused mentioning NVIDIA. Sorry, let me clear the comment off here.
My weather outside my window here might determine how long of a day I have.
I was going to say my weather out here, it's great. It looks great. It is sunny outside. It's cool, really kind of cooled off here. 70 degrees. Oh man, the steps are going to be good today, folks. So stay focused. You're looking at NVIDIA here. Do you think there's some more downside here if this maybe gets rejected at the VWAP? I know we traded through the VWAP to the upside earlier here today before moving back down. I'm wondering if we get that if we get that movement again, this could actually be a fairly decent day trade.
I just saw some news. Aaron Sherm, I'm going to keep my eye open for that. I hadn't seen that come across the news yet, but if that's the case,
the Houthi leader vowing of escalation,
that's going to put pressure on shipping rates. It might cause them to go higher.
Daddy backstrap, I did. So I got a little bit. We got some boots on the ground over there in Taiwan. The update that I got there is that the gentleman was actually watching a Japanese news program earlier, didn't see any mention of that, received no warning from the Taiwanese government. So far, not looking like that's going to happen. That X account even says in its profile that they don't verify the rumors that they send out and to do your own work there. So nothing, the only thing new has been a positive. Doesn't really sound like it's imminent. I did see recently here, how do you pronounce this guy's name? Mario Naufal. He does a whole lot of spaces on X. He talks a lot about this political stuff. He's basically putting out a tweet here saying Japan warns that China could land troops within a week if they wanted to go through. To me, I think this is just conjecture. I don't have anything. I don't have anything really kind of confirming that or anything to worry about. And I trust my boots on the ground source more than X anyway. Market's bouncing back here too. I think the bigger thing that's going to be driving it is the mess that's going on the Democratic side of our political system here, not necessarily the Taiwan thing. We'll see if that changes throughout the course of the day. It's early. Silo, a little dip back to the VWAP there.
Mm-hmm. That's a good sign for those that would like it to go higher, but I'm not liking the way the MACD is looking, so I wouldn't be jumping into this quite yet. Looks like DJT is trying just reclaimed that 3650 level. See if it can push higher. It's got to get back up. See, pre-market kind of gave us a bit of a supply zone, and we fell out of the gate. We just it just created a little bit of a problem for itself. So it's got to get through that. It's got to push up through 3725, I believe. We could even call it 3720, but I'm going to go 25. That's where it needs to go through. We get past that, 3850s on the docket.
Yep. Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't really see anything new here that's confirming any of this. Okay.
Well, I guess that's all right since we're about out of time here and the market decided it's going to go back.
Yep. We'll see where we end up closing up here. We do have some charts that we want to take a look at in terms of the closing price there, especially for some of those swings. So the close here today is going to be interesting, no doubt.
Yeah.
Seeing some calls starting to come in for some of these chip names: AMD, ARM, Google, Apple. Puts some more puts on SMCI. We'll check that chart out here. Looks like that is trying to bounce a little bit.
Yeah, and
Fairchild, I got this one. Looks like I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue. That would be Airplane, folks. That is one of the greatest movies of all time. Fairchild, we'll take that shout any day of the week. That's for sure.
Gosh. You couldn't make that movie today.
No, you couldn't. And man, oh man, is that
that's
a good
why it's
one.
going to be such a classic forever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was another film. I don't know if there's another film where we had both Lloyd Bridges and Leslie Nielsen in it. Can you think of another one? Those are my two favorite, all-time actors. Because
he wasn't in any. He wasn't in any of the Naked Guns, was he?
I don't think he was. But,
I don't either.
Two super serious actors, and they end up doing that. That was just great. And the deadpan comedy is among my favorites. So
Roger, what's your vector, Victor? Oh man, now that's going to be stuck in my head all day. Okay, folks, that's going to be it here for today. Really good stuff. Pretty much all week. You guys have really been crushing it all week here. So anyway, we're done here for today. But remember to check. That's what I was trying to remember there. Remember to check out the Netflix earnings call. We do have Netflix earnings tonight. We are going to be streaming that here on YouTube. I went ahead and threw that link there in the chat. Stay green, stay safe. Thank you, Jay Michael, and thank you all of you folks out there for joining us here today. All of your support. It means an absolute ton. 13. Have a great day. We'll see you. Take care, everybody.